Welcome to Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today we're delighted to have our guest, Claire Farwell, who resides in Spain. We love Spain. Who is the founder and CEO of AI Claire. I like that, AI Claire. Claire, thank you for joining us today. And could you start by introducing yourself and providing us a little bit of insights on your expertise and background before we dive into this insightful discussion?
Well, thanks for having me. First off, really nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Everybody out there. Oh my goodness, I live in Barcelona. I have gone down this rabbit hole of AI. I was born in England. I still got the accent, and I went from every industry you can possibly imagine. I've touched on so many industries, and I think that's why I like AI so much, because it's everywhere. And with language, with communication, with travel, with different cultures, with everything I've done, from fashion model to journalism to having my own companies, it is only natural that I would be here and put all my experiences and things like that into creating my own company, which is AI Claire, which you rightly said, because I couldn't think of anything else. I'm like, let's keep it simple. To basically continue with my languages and communication, translate AI to non-technical leaders and anyone else that's listening.
Before we get into it, just curious, I'm always talking to people on LinkedIn. I'm always interviewing people. And I feel that, tell me if I'm right or wrong, that the word AI being used loosely in all fashions, like everything is AI. Anybody just taking advantage of the hype of AI. Yes, AI this, AI that. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that, yeah, it was a boom. I mean, when you're talking about a revolution, which, it very much is, it's going to cause this trend setting, it's out there. But then reality kicks in. And I've seen that with, companies that I've been teaching. There was this huge demand for AI workshops, and then it was like, okay, reality's kicking in, right? Like, let's really look at data orchestration, privacy, ethics if we're lucky, but you'd hope that's in the mix. And we've got some experimentation with tools, we're spending this and that, and it's like, let's just go back to the drawing board and let's put strategies in place and do this slowly. Because before it was like, oh, my competitors and all this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So much up in the air trend. So I think that's what's been going on. So we're at a new phase.
Yes, yes.
How about you? How about you? What do you think?
Oh, AI.
Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, part of the technology that we're using right now in our, as you know, I'm in the music industry and distribution, and also the independent film distribution, and in tech also. And because, music and tech go hand in hand. Without it, it don't work. But yes, some of the components that we added to our platform called Music Dash, which is a DIY distribution platform for independent artists, we added artwork generator, AI artwork generator. We added AI mastering tool for free, also for our independent artists worldwide to use it. Also built by AI, and also what else we have? We have also our promotion promotion and marketing tool, AI promotion marketing tool. We built also for our artists to use it for free. It took us a minute to develop it, but absolutely amazing, and it's great. It really helped a lot of the artists, independent artists out there, so they don't have to go to other platforms and pay for it. But again, this interview is about you. We're not promoting Music Dash on Entrepreneurs in Tech. It's about AI Claire, which is, I love that name. You got to have a cap that says AI Claire on it. If you do, send me one. Claire, what really got you started and interested, I would say, in the technology and further down, as you said in the beginning, in the rabbit hole of AI?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in tech to a certain extent, way back when I was, my goodness, how many decades ago. I was talking with a friend of my husband, and he was like, oh, the sales strategies, salespeople. And I went, oh, goodness. I said, I know exactly what you mean. And he said, do you want a job as well? Yes. And so I went, and I was director of sales for Metsi Media, which was an online shopping comparison engine. This was just at the time of Amazon and things that was going from books to what have you. And I just remember learning this in completely new language. What click-through rates, what is, all this stuff. And that is when I looked at it as a different language and thought, this is fantastic. Because there's so much, I'm so creative and there's so much creativity in it. And I like to keep up with innovation. I like, cutting edge. It's not dull. So I guess there's a lot of that as well. And then, went into tech again because of the ed tech side of it. So I've gone from real estate and then moving into ed tech because I wanted to upskill myself. And then, that led me into, opening up different countries for various other things.
Also, you worked in the automotive industry.
I did.
And how did that connect it to your AI journey? How was where was the connection there?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't have connections, right? And we can look hard, but I think what brought me to work in the industry in the first place was talking about telematics systems in car, and that was really then, I mean, the first sort of data collection and the first sight of really seeing AI, within the industry. So again, I was just right there. I should have read the signs then, really, but I think that would have been something that was readily available in, obviously a Korean car industry, and seeing how people were, reacting to, oh my goodness, if I have a teenager and I can tell on an app where that person is, where they are, and if I can set boundaries and all this stuff, it was just like, woo, that was the beginning of it. So
Interesting. Claire, can you tell us about when you starting Claire Farwell London
I know
and
so
how it
confused
taught
these,
you like, huh? I'm sorry.
confuse these poor people with how many things I've done, right?
No, it's absolutely inspiring, actually. Really inspiring. I'm sure you give classes or uh, speaking engagement for women in leadership, and how, because your accomplishment is actually very inspiring for a lot of women out there that who are want to be in the tech and want to be an entrepreneur because you're a great example.
Thank you.
So tell us about Claire Farwell London and
Yeah,
how it taught you to strategize, business strategy and innovation.
yeah, no, I mean that was that came about because I got cancer about, when the years pass you can't remember, but it was in 2010, and a rush of creativity. You got a lot of time, you've got to, and you want to fill it as well because you've got doctor's appointment and stages to go through, and it's like, just give me the creative stuff, distract me. And I remember just creating a dress, and it was, once I was sort of, at a certain part, between surgeries, whatever, and I created a dress. I had to go to a ball, and I'm like, I'll make it, and I'll sort of, whatever. And I did, and then everyone was like, what is this dress? And then I started a company from it. And
Why you were dealing with cancer.
yeah,
Amazing. You see, the question should be, what is the motivation behind all of this? Instead of saying to yourself, oh my God, I need to enjoy life and focus on my healing. You just said, no, I want to keep going forward and building and become more innovative.
well, I mean, what happened at that time was absolutely incredible, actually. I wrote a book. I haven't had it published, but I wrote a book. I just couldn't get that out quick enough. I created a company, the clothing company, and I became an advocate for breast cancer. And I did an editorial campaign that went worldwide and was interviewing all over the world to really inspire women to, saying, from Australia to Russia or whatever it was, it was just crazy interviews, that you are no less of a woman because you have your bosoms chopped off, basically. So I guess that I was like this before, and then it was just thousandfold, to answer your question after that.
What a great example you are. Absolutely. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. Definitely. Um, Claire, you also, again, all these accomplishments and accolades. You worked for a PR company. Oh well, no, you did the PR for
Yeah,
Orange County Fashion Week.
yeah, yeah.
So, can we shed some light on it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the fashion company that I created,
Yes.
had my collection at New York Fashion Week, which was always very exciting because as an ex-model, to come back to be the designer, to, have all your models, there with all the incredible teams that you have at New York Fashion Week, and my clothes, and I've got actors and actresses there and all this sort of stuff. Um, there I was in that fashion industry again. Um, and so that then, brings you different audiences, different people. And then living in LA, Orange County, it was like your fashion, that. And then they're like, would you like to, with all your experience from the industry and that, from the modeling and then from the fashion industry, would you like to come and do all the PR for us? So it was only natural that, I said yes. And basically it was just about finding other brands, other companies, fashion brands that wanted to obviously do these incredible fashion week and press releases and branding and off you go, helping other brands.
Well, branding experience is always important. It's all because everything is sales and marketing. Everything, everything you do. So that helped you also how to market other brands and your own brand.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yes, Claire. Let's talk about you. You worked at the World Folio. Did I pronounce that right?
You did, yeah. I mean, it was a
Yes.
different name back then as well, but
Oh, how did that prepare you for to lead the AI initiative or initiatives globally?
that was an absolutely extraordinary job. I was frustrated in London. It was a Tuesday, and I would just filling up this Jeep Wrangler that I had in London, which was the wrong vehicle to have, right? But I was just a Californian at heart, probably pissing down with rain. And I'm like, should I get this media section of the Guardian newspaper? Because I was always interested. I'd studied radio and television and all this. I was always interested in my career in TV. And anyway, I got it because I was just asking myself too many times, just buy the damn thing. And then I saw this advertisement. Do you speak different languages? Would you like to travel the world? Interview economic leaders? Apply here. And I thought, is this real? There's things that you see in films when there's this ad that's got flashing lights on it. You're like, how is this even possible? So I went to this interview. I then went to several more. Then I went to a 2 week, it was before reality TV, 2 week training in Madrid where people were dropping like flies. There was like 50 of us to start and they'd let you go, if you weren't good enough. And the job was insane. I, basically would go on just to different countries, whether it's Israel, Russia, Nigeria, Bahrain, and I would go and I would have a theme. Let's say it was with Jeb Bush and I was with his delegation to promote investment and commerce between Mexico and Florida for the Miami Herald. So the idea is to compile these, report with all of these different private companies, all these leaders, all their different, the base of the editorial, interview them, sell them some advertising while you're at it, and put these incredible reports together for New York Times, Miami Herald, or whatever. What did it teach me? It taught me everything about PR, about networking, about getting in the door, about, organization, being away, being in different cultures, speaking different language. I mean, it was the greatest way into business that one could ever remember. And that was without internet. Right?
From your story, it's always evolving and learning and,
Yes.
and just adding more to your um, resume, knowledge, experience, and things to do. I love it. I love the path and the strategy that, I don't know, it came by plan. You planned all of this, or just really it happens
It
as
just
you
went
keep
with
going
what I
forward.
wanted to go with.
Let's talk about the Power Business School in the UK. How, or which lessons did you, get from expanding the Power
Yeah,
Business
I
School
mean,
in the
so
UK?
I work with them. It's a Spanish company, and I wanted to do an alternative MBA. And an alternative
Yeah.
MBA, you have to have a certain amount of money and a certain amount of time, right? So this was the type of budget that I wanted to do it with, and the timing with very up-to-date information. All the material was based on sort of micro learnings that were from leaders with, of startups, etc., that we all know. So it was a really great way of learning without it hurting. And I loved it so much. I met the founders. They said, listen, we want to open the UK. I said, well, I'll give them a go because we're a tough lot. And literally just was, this was sort of pandemic time as well. So it was an absolutely incredible time because people were at home. There were warm leads coming through,
Yes.
because, and I basically just talked to people all day long that why they wanted to upskill, entrepreneurs, whether they be, business owners, never been to work, returning to work, whatever. Why do you want to upskill? And it was stories. Obviously I'm a born salesperson. I've been selling since I was born. And I'm talking to these people and I'm passionate myself because I've done the program. So it was just so wonderful, just relationships and but we're a tough lot as well, I realized just how tough us Brits are. I've sold all over the world and I'm like, flipping heck, it's probably why, I left. But anyway, it was incredible, and then I went over and opened up on the B2B
Okay.
side of things, the
Yes.
US. Latam.
How do you support non-technical participants of Mia Academy in embracing AI?
Well, that was a short stint as well, and that was basically me loving AI. Obviously,
Yes.
ChatGPT and all the tools and things that started to come about. Some of them, like, I don't know, Descript or Gamma, like ones that I saw right off the bat. I'm like, wow, these are some incredible tools. Perplexity, not just because they were well funded, they were just damn good tools. I was so mad about it all that it was inspiring to all the people in the community and around me. And then I was asked to, basically lead these leadership programs and speak and teach. So women from all different backgrounds, predominantly non-technical, and that's when it started. And that's then when I branched off and thought, right, well, I like this. Still riding the AI wave, still reading the news every day, still putting my newsletter out every weekend. I'm going to create something for myself.
Well, I guess we warmed up enough to talk about AI Claire. What really inspired you to start AI Claire? What was like the light bulb? Like, I'm starting this now.
It was really crazy because, as I said, I had this just epiphany. I'm just like, I'm sitting there. It's the typical sort of Capricorn that I am, January, fresh start. You know what I mean? Like, whoa,
Hey, here's one more. Come
But me,
in.
you see? Then you know exactly what I mean. Anyone
Yes,
else got a
yes.
Capricorn? Then sorry about this. Bob and I are having a funny 5 minutes. Yeah, no, it was sitting there. It's a fresh new start. I've, got a lot of life in me, and I thought, all right, I'm going to just do my own thing. And what does it mean? I don't know. I'm going to call it AI Claire, and I'm just going to start building my LinkedIn brand, my profile. I'm just going to start pushing on that. I put out a newsletter. 2 days later, I was contacted to ask if I would like to do an AI workshop for Accenture. I was just mind blown. But I truly believe that you go places in life because you know what it is you want and you focus on it, and you can do what you like. You can sing it, you can speak it, you can make a decision on it, and you go get it. And I told one of my two daughters, one of them's now at university, she's in the last sort of month, which is amazing. I looked at her and I said, you remember when I said this in January? As I'm like flying off to Germany to teach Lufthansa, or Switzerland to Swiss Air and all this incredible stuff. I said, you remember I started this out of thin air? I said, remember that. You can do anything. It was crazy. I'm still
Yeah.
blown away.
What is really the main focus of AI Clear? And tell us also about your AI workshops.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Well, the main focus is really it just sounds really like tacky, but it's just such a confusion out there, so much confusion. And so because I'm like one ear on the ground, really listening to what is going on globally across industries, healthcare, business, finance, whatever. I can't know all of it, and that's what AI is for, obviously. But it's about that information and going and listening to companies. And I've been in so many companies that have been so broken through different communications and things. So it's kind of a combination package of ethics and workflow and breaking it down and looking and going, okay, so what do you use for project management? And then you actually find you've got to go deeper because you realize that a tool that was supposedly bought in, nobody's really using it and they've all got the same problems, but you can find problems and you can fix it by putting it together with AI. So it's ethics, it's tools, productivity, workflows. And then, I mean, for example, I'm teaching the Santander Bank in November. I'll be going there. And that's a workshop that is personal branding, networking, community, and building that around sort of tools. So there's a lot of personalization in there too.
Well, you just mentioned ethics, and why ethics in AI a core focus of the training sessions?
It's the heart of everything. Every company is people.
But it's not. There's no regulations yet. There's a lot of talk.
I,
There's a lot.
I know.
So much talk about AI ethics and rules, but really there's no. You know what I'm talking about. There is no.
There's no there's no checklists, but for me it's
Yet.
exactly. And for me what I really think it is, it's all wrapped up with diversity. Diversity, what I say is that today there is so much labeling going on in the world. So then let's all just really put our heads together and take the data, look at AI, look at our LLMs, whatever, and just go, these are all the labels, right? Let's all just say it. Like, this person could be this, da, 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 and just let's get the labels out, give it, and train properly diverse data sets. And then we can shut up about labels over here, and we can just be. And I think that is my hope for that to happen. And so when chief people or people are then focused on to look after departments or whatever, the AI go-to person, you can call it what you want, that the diversity, it's a must, it has to be wrapped up in it. That for me, that's everything. So that's how I feel about it. And that's why I took the position of events coordinator at Women in AI as well, Spain.
How do you promote the inclusion and ethics at the AI Women in
How
Spain?
do I? Well, by doing events, by going to schools, by starting young, by partnering with Inspiring Girls, which is all sort of STEM in schools. You got to start with them while they're young, not when they're on their blooming, iPad or iPhone at 3. That's a little too young. But really education, through inspiration, through the events that we put on. I'm doing another talk at EAE, which is another business school here in Barcelona and Madrid. And that will be to MBA students. So I'm going to get some slightly older ones with female first in mind. And really, just do these reminders and get feedback, what they think about ethics.
Any plans to expand your mission and your vision and your voice of AI and women in AI and all of that into the MENA region, the Gulf, in the Middle East, like, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the whole region?
Yeah, I mean, having lived in Bahrain before.
Oh, you have?
I have. I did
Amazing.
One of my reports was on Bahrain. Look, I mean, I was recently asked to do a keynote at the Istanbul AI Summit. And for me, having lived in Istanbul too, I know I've done it all.
You really have.
I'm just going to say it before anyone else is thinking it, then I'm like, oh, great, because then I'll do, I do this, then I do a workshop there, and then, having understood and know what the culture is like, it was such a pleasure to think that I would go and have 20 incredible business leaders in my workshop, and then I could expand, and then obviously. So I would love to do so much more. Yes, I would. And time, and right now I'm doing some more outreach because I'm crazy and I want to do more to help and expand this.
Amazing. Claire, what is the number one thing that excites you about the future of AI in business?
I mean, obviously it's all about innovation, efficiency, just making work, you know, uh, just more about what we want it to be, happier beings, having the mundane taken out of it, more time for creativity, a better work-life balance. That would be, ideal. And being more human, being more
Being more
human,
human. Yes.
right? Let's getting our priorities in the right order, right?
Yes. Claire, looking back at your journey and from what I've seen and talking to you, I think you're not even halfway yet. The journey is a lot longer than that. There's
Well,
more to add to your
like
accolades and achievements and accomplishments. What's your top advice for a lot of these young entrepreneurs and a lot of the women out there that who inspired by your journey, inspired by your accomplishments and achievement and your drive and your vision and the advice you gave on the show here and you gave your daughter earlier in life? You said, "Hey, anything you want to do, you could do it, doable. Just focus on it. It's all about your mindset and put your heart into it, and you can accomplish it and do it."
Well, I think you just said it, but yeah, no, I was like, yeah, so yeah, I've said it all. But yeah, I just think that it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. I think we're just brought up with this, I had it from when I was 10. What do you want to do when you see your relatives, your family? It's like, can I not just chill out for a minute? Can I not just be
There's no shame in it. There's nothing wrong with chilling out,
right?
relaxing, and
Yeah.
collect get your mind together.
Yeah, and I really think that if you don't know, it's because you don't know. Don't force it.
I like
Just
it.
just accept that. It's so much easier to just accept it and it'll come.
It will come. That's it. Do you feel there's a lot of pressure on a lot of the young people? This is really for the young people who are in college, in high school, or graduating high school, or graduated college, and they're at a crossroads. Should I get a job? Or if I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm a failure, I'm a loser. Then I'm not, and I say, no. What's your advice? And I'm sure you're seeing it, as a motivator yourself, a speaker who done a lot of things in life, and great advice you just give. But do you feel there's so much pressure and a lot of negative also social pressure on it to be an entrepreneur or to do something different? You went to school for something. That's what you wanted to do. Follow through it. I always say, follow through it, and things will come. Get a job. It's no shame in getting a job. You went to school for it. Learn the market, understand what's in need, and then you'll decide later in life if this is what you want, because you don't want to start failing from the beginning.
No, and it's hard to look at the lessons through things when we're, young and I want to know now and I want this much money now or whatever it is that, floats your boat. But, like I told one of my daughters who's, just here and she's, oh, I'm looking at universities now. She's only 17, looking at universities and I think I'm going to do this and that and this and that. I said, look at your mother. She's 55 and she's just started something new. Avalon, it's absolutely fine to just learn as you go. Just go. Let yourself, I think, to be just relaxed enough. That is the secret, that you can just let creativity flow, because when we are tense and unhappy, creativity doesn't flow out. So it's this juxtaposition of just, it's hard. The biggest challenge is it's going back to what I said before. Just let it go and ride the wave, and things will come along. Try things.
You
Don't
you
be afraid
think
to experiment.
the pressure of social media, possibly a lot of the young people,
Oh,
so much pressure,
of course it
and
is.
to
It's
and
huge.
to be and to have and to own and
Oh,
It's
it's
just like at a young age, yes, you need to have this, you need to own this, you need to go there, you need to do that, you need to have a private jet at a young age. You
it
need
was always there though, wasn't it? If you look at the 80s, I know you were there in the 80s, it was just like, woo, I've got my Porsche or whatever it
yeah.
is, leather jacket, and I'm in the Wall Street or whatever. And we've always had it, but now it's this silent, so silent with the internet. And I'm just really hoping that the pressure's going to come off a bit with personalized learning, with understanding each individual has different ways of learning. That in the school system might take some pressure off. It's like, let this person maybe go towards being an entrepreneur because of what they're studying here and what it's showing, and we'll have more time as teachers to be able to notice these signs and put them in the better direction. And I'm not answering the question about the internet. They should have more policies. Social media, like ask yourself, there should be like golden rule. How do I feel when I'm looking and scrolling through this? How do I feel? Am I envious? Do I wish why do you think? Get off it. You know what I mean? Like, if you get to just get off it.
Good advice. What's next in the near future and the far future for Claire and for AI Claire?
Well, for Claire, there will probably be a vodka tonic in my near future because we're obviously at 20 to 7. I have a keynote speech tomorrow for the Age Equity Forum. It's just an incredible event, which really is constantly talking with incredible speakers about career longevity. So for the spring chickens like myself, really it's about the people are living longer, and again, diversity, balance, and I'll be doing that tomorrow. And then I have another interview in the evening, which I've just realized. But first of all, I will go for a swim, and I'll be in the pool training at 7 in the morning, because that is the highlight of the day.
Amazing. Now just by mentioning all these dates, we have to release your episode quickly, because we cannot release it a month from now, say tomorrow. What tomorrow? This is a month ago. Sorry.
Yeah, I probably would have done an awful lot of
Yes.
things as well. I've had 2 careers by then as well.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Claire, it was definitely, thank you for joining us from Spain, live from Spain, I guess, to the States, on Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. This amazing interview, very insightful, and most important, very motivating. What I love about it, extremely motivating and inspiring for everybody else who is our listeners and viewers on Entrepreneurs in Tech. Claire, I want to say thank you again, and be sure to follow us on social media. Until next time, keep innovating, stay curious, and think outside the box, and just do what Claire does. She just keep going and keep learning and keep innovating every single day. And she's right, probably a month from now, she'll probably have 3 more careers already and 3 more companies.
Really great being with you, Bob.
Same, likewise. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
Bye-bye. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.